is Jen, and tonight my husband Andrew and I are escaping for a much needed date night away from our kids. We're headed on a mini road trip to Waterloo, Ontario, Canada to dine at King Street Trio. King Street Trio is a long-standing dining establishment in Uptown Waterloo. It is small and intimate and definitely fine dining. Likely gonna blow the budget tonight, but you know what guys? Sometimes we need to do that. We can't wait to get there and give you our full review, so let's hit the road.
Observation number 1. Like any downtown restaurant, parking is a bit of an issue. Can't park on the street right in front of the restaurant, so we had to find a parking lot around the block. Minor inconvenience, hopefully the food's worth it.
When you come up to King Street Trio, it's a pretty unassuming building, but there are a lot of historic brick and stone features that make it very cozy and appealing. As soon as we walked in, we were greeted enthusiastically and given a little tour of the restaurant because some things have changed in recent years. And the first thing to note is the decorating. They have done a phenomenal job doing some redecorating in here. I absolutely loved the light fixtures using mason jars because I am a canning enthusiast, so that was really neat to see those touches. And the colors and the chairs especially were incredibly comfortable. I love going to a restaurant that has a padded fabric chair. I don't know what it is about it, but it makes it feel more luxurious to me, more comfortable on my spine, and it was just really nice to have that added touch. The atmosphere in general was beautiful. Now I must say, I took a look at the menu before we went to King Street Trio and I was a little put off by the prices. It looked very pricey to me. So let's just see if the food lived up to its price. First of all, something to note is that they say right on their website that they try to source most of their food from local farmers when they can. As a rural Ontarioite, and because Andrew works in the ag industry, we really appreciated this aspect. The menu is a condensed menu that changes every single week. So you're never really gonna get the same thing twice, and that was really exciting. To start our meal, we were given complimentary focaccia bread and farmer's cheese. I cannot tell you, this could have been my favorite part of the entire meal. This focaccia was so delicious. The crust on the outside, I don't know, something about it was so much better than any focaccia I've ever had. And they topped the farmer's cheese with chopped shallots and herbs and spices, garlic, salt, and pepper. It was melt in your mouth delicious. This was an outstanding start to our dinner, and the fact that it was free really appealed to the cheapskate in me. Then we went into our appetizers. Andrew and I chose to share an app in an effort to live on less. This is often what we do. So we ordered the lobster agnolotti. Oh, I am still dreaming about this dish. The pasta was house-made and you could tell. It was tender, delicious, perfectly done. The filling was great, but the star I thought was the sauce, which had pesto, peas, and watercress. The pesto was certainly house-made as well. I just couldn't get enough of it. If it was polite in public to lick your plate, I probably would have done it. But the big surprise of the meal is our kind waiter said, no, you need to try another app. So he gave us a complimentary appetizer, which was just incredible. So he comped us a $17 app, which was the roasted squash. And unbelievable flavors here. We grow squash in our garden and I'm gonna try, if I can, to replicate this, though I probably won't be able to. And the description of the squash, there are a lot of different herbs and spices used, cilantro, yogurt, and it was just something that tasted straight out of the Middle East. It was phenomenal, compliments to the chef. I should mention as well, I did try 2 different wines here. I tried their Pinot Grigio as well as their house Chardonnay. I don't go all out on drinks, but these were certainly good compliments to the meal. I will say that the waiter was, I'm not going to say pushy, but he kept asking Andrew over and over again what he could get him to drink. Are you sure you don't want to drink? What can I get you off the drink menu? My husband is not a drinker. He might have a sip of my wine, but he doesn't drink alcohol. So I would say it's a good thing Andrew's not an alcoholic, because all that peer pressure, he probably would have caved in the end. But it's just something we noticed throughout the meal, that maybe just in this day and age, it's a shock to come across an adult male who doesn't drink. But I will say that he was offered several times and declined. One thing we loved about where we were seated in the restaurant is we were right beside the chefs, and we could see from the hanging mirrors them plating all the food. And I just felt like we had the best seat in the house because we could see that. Maybe some people don't like to see how the sausage is made, so to speak, but we really enjoyed being able to kind of get in on the action. And it still was very quiet and private where we were sitting. But yeah, if you ever wanted to request a place to sit at King Street Trio, we were sitting right at the back by the chef's counter, and I loved it. For our mains, I chose the dandelion and potato pierogies, which came with broccoli, red cabbage, and an onion broth. I haven't eaten dandelion aside from in a fresh salad, so to have it cooked inside of a potato stuffed pierogi was very interesting. They were done well. I have no complaints about the pierogi, but by far the best main was my husband's Wagyu flat iron. To put it bluntly, holy cow, this was melt in your mouth, dreaming about it for weeks, totally worth the $59 of a main plate. And I don't say that lightly because we are budget conscious people. So for me to say that it was worth $59 for a main dish, you know how good this must have tasted. My husband said it was absolutely the best beef he's ever had in his entire life. But second place in flavors was the onion tart. The pastry on this tart, whoever the chef is, I mean, the pastry was delicious. Amazing job. But it's basically stuffed with caramelized onion and topped with goat cheese. So my husband loved this. There was also mushroom, red wine sauce. There were Brussels sprouts thrown in there. It was an all-around quality, exceptional dish. Okay, future Jen coming to you here. I actually wanted to cut in and ask you watching, are you from the Waterloo area? And if so, have you ever eaten at King Street Trio? Leave your comments below on what you thought of it. Or are there other restaurants in the Kitchener-Waterloo area you love and you think we should try out? I would love to hear from you. I know there are so many great restaurants in the area, and if you are visiting Kitchener-Waterloo, definitely check out King Street Trio. Okay, on to dessert. We were stuffed by this point of the meal, but I mean, you've got to have dessert when you are out for a fine dining experience, just to top off the meal. So I was eyeing up the chocolate textures dessert, but we decided to go with the request that our kind waiter gave us because he said that the chef had just gotten a brand new ice cream making machine, and he really recommended the cheesecake ice cream. And its description was blueberry compote with white chocolate crumb. So my husband is a sucker for anything that is cheesecake berry infused. So we decided to get this to share as well. We definitely weren't hungry enough to get 2 different desserts. And boy, are we glad we did. When we got this ice cream, I mean, it hardly even tasted like ice cream. It just tasted straight up like cheesecake. It was so good. And the blueberries themselves, I don't know where they got these blueberries because this was the dead of winter, but they tasted just like blueberries I've picked at Parks Blueberries near Chatham, Ontario. They were just huge, fat, tasted like they'd just been picked blueberries. I'm not sure how that's possible, but they certainly were better than what I can buy in the grocery store this time of year. The white chocolate crumb was the perfect complement. I mentioned before being leery about this place because of the price, and Andrew and I both went away saying, yes, this restaurant was certainly worth the price. If you're going for a date night, a special occasion, Valentine's Day, this is the place to go. I mean, they treat you right, and the service was out of this world. So attentive, so kind. Our water glasses never went more than maybe 1/4 empty without them being refilled. There was just a camaraderie among the staff. For a small establishment, I mean, they are winning over loyal customers, one person at a time, I am sure. It was one of those places where I just felt so welcomed and at home, and I felt like, wow, I'm going to come back here again and again and again. Now, if you'd like to eat here, you definitely need to make reservations, especially during restricted times. There is limited dining, so you want to make reservations well in advance, and you can do that online through OpenTable or by calling the restaurant. Wow, that was a wonderful evening. Trust me, you cannot go wrong with King Street Trio. It is totally worth the price for whatever special occasion you might have planned, even if it's just the special occasion of escaping your children, as in our case. If you live in the area of Waterloo, what a great way to support a local business. If you've gotten value out of this review, please don't forget to pop that like button. And if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, or if this is your first time here, please do subscribe. We'd love to have you on board. This channel is all about our life in rural Ontario, Canada, and normally my videos are about living on less. Admittedly, this video was not so much about living on less. It was a bit of a budget buster. But even I have to admit that sometimes it's okay to break that budget and splurge on something special. Please find some of our other videos on great places to check out in Ontario to the side of me here. Keep watching, and I'll see you in the next video. For The Least, this is Jen.